3, 2, 1, go. So, F-Zero GX has a lot of tricks in it. I'll explain them as they come by. The first thing is, like, probably the most important is MT, just momentum throttling. Where basically at very, very high speeds, if you, like, boost or dive, or if you somehow go, like, 2,000 kilometers an hour or something like that, it's actually better to let go of A than actually hold it. You want the engine off at those speeds. Because the way the gas or accelerator works in this game is that it will try to crank the vehicle toward the top speed. So if you're at a dead stop, like at the start of the race, it'll go from 0 to like 1,000 kilometers an hour. But if you're going like 3,000 kilometers an hour, then it will crank you down to 1,000 kilometers an hour, so it'll actually slow you down if you have the engine on. So that's why the engine's off a lot. Also, this sliding I'm doing is called momentum turbo slides. You'll see a lot more of that with other vehicles. Fat Shark's pretty good at it, but he's not the best. The way momentum turbo slides work is basically you have the engine off and you turn sideways, and the only forces that are like in effect are friction, which is slowing you down, and the vehicle strafing. And since you're strafing sideways, you're going forward because you're like at an angle. And for some vehicles, the difference between their strafing power and friction isn't much, so they can't MTS very well. But Fat Shark is pretty good at it. Even better is Black Bull, which you'll see in the next course. But in this course, this track, it really demonstrates Fat Shark's strongest point, which is his boost. It's the best boost in the game by quite a bit. So, also with MT, where you want to let go of A at high speeds, for Fat Shark it's around 1,273 kilometers an hour. So when I'm above that speed, I don't want to press A, and that unless I'm boosting, and that includes in a little cooldown period between boosts. Every vehicle has a cooldown period of like at least 2 frames, where you don't want to hold A. So between boosts, you need to like time it rhythmically to let go of A, and then press A once you can boost again. And when there's like dash plates, like on the ground or like boost plates that you can boost from, the same thing applies to those. But if you can chain them back to back, if the vehicle has a boost that's long enough, then you don't need to let go of A, because you'll just be boosting one long consecutive boost. And that's where Fat Shark really shines. Alright, this level and the next one, Black Bull is like the optimal vehicle. Well, Quick Star potentially on Blue Cross, but I must admit that I'm still not as well practiced with Black Bull as I am with Fat Shark. So here we'll see MTS chaining, where I basically do an MTS and then cut it off with side attacks. Shit. Side attacks are pretty useful in general. They're primarily seen on dives. That's where they have the biggest effect. If you have a big long dive from a jump, you can do side attacks while holding strafe and gain quite a bit of speed. Mess that up. Ideally, you do the one long MTS there. Crap. And that's another problem, is if you're MTSing, you need to be very careful, because if you hit an upslope, you could regain grip, and then the vehicle will travel in whatever direction it's facing. And when you're MTSing, you're facing sideways like I am right now. So it'll head straight into a wall, so you need to be really careful with that. Like it. That's what happened there. Regain grip. When you're MTSing, you don't want to have grip. The first input you do to MTS is actually to squeeze both shoulder buttons, and that starts a drift turn, which cancels your grip. For most vehicles. Some vehicles have like super high grip that is actually really, really hard to get rid of. But for the top tier vehicles, it's the case. Another top tier vehicle, Gallant Star. Now this it's not quite as good at MTSing as Black Bull. It's not as good at boosting as Fat Shark. It's like a middle ground. It's just like an all-around pretty solid vehicle. It does have a better top speed, I believe. Oh no, it does. It has better. I'm not sure if it's number one in anything actually. Now that I think about it, because Fat Shark, Quickstar would have the MTS chaining. Man, now I'm thinking. There's a lot of really top tier vehicles actually. You have your choices. Which is one of the reasons I really like this game, is that there's no one way to play it. If you see the top times from, CGN, Brave, Iowa, they'll have very different runs. The way you play this game can really, translate to like completely different play styles. Or if you watch someone's PB, like you can, if you're familiar with like the runners, you could like tell who it is based on like the methods they use to go fast. You can MTS along upslopes because the way physics works in this game is kind of stupid, but it's fun. The vehicle will be like sideways, and I haven't really tested this thoroughly in emulator, but I'm guessing it's because it's also tilted, so it treats the vertical portion as if it was like a horizontal curve, just like a vertical curve. Like right now it's slanted a little. I'm not quite sure on that. But you can only MTS on upslopes, not downslopes. Well, you can MTS on downslopes, but you don't get the same effect. There's actually another combination MTS and shift boosting with downslopes that you'll see potentially in the next level. There's actually the next level multiplex that recently had the world record broken by quite a few seconds by utilizing a strat that wasn't really, like, it was known, but no one really did it just because it was kind of weird. But boost state MT and a momentum turbo slide into a shift boost. A shift boost is like the most noticeable trick in this game, I think, in terms of like speed. For like if you're in the air for one frame or like a matter of frames, and then you land back on the ground, you get a massive speed boost. It actually doubles your speed by 2 in one frame, and then based on like the vehicle's weight, acceleration, other properties, it'll decrease by a certain amount. So right here, yep, got it. You can MTS to get a shift boost there. Now, the way shift boost usually works is you'll see people like strafe off and on the track, so that they're only off the track for like a couple frames. But alternatively, you can drive over a slope, and if you're going really, really fast over a hill, you'll fly off. And if you get just the right amount of speed, you'll fly off and then land like the next frame or two, and you can get a shift boost by doing that. And in theory, you can do that on any downslope in the game, but some downslopes just have such a shallow curve that it would require such a really, really high speed to actually fly off of it, so it's not really obtainable. But that first turn there, you can get it by MTSing, because when you MTS, you gain a lot of speed. So you can get to the shift boost speed by MTSing, so it's commonly known as an MTS into shift boost. The other thing I mentioned, Boost MT, just like with Fat Shark above 1,273 kilometers an hour, I don't want to hold A unless I'm boosting. But above about 1,975 kilometers an hour, even if I am boosting, I don't want to hold A, because of the speed loss will be that significant. It's not as useful as MT in general, but in maps where there's shift booster, whenever you're going like above 2,000 kilometers an hour, that can be useful. My PB on this level uses Gallant Star, but since it takes like a couple seconds to load the custom vehicles from the memory card, I just use Fat Shark anyway, because the difference between them, at my skill level anyway, I would probably get about the same time. I could also potentially use Black Bull. Does my PB use Black Bull or Gallant Star? I don't remember. I know I have like a 57 with Fat Shark. And like a 56 with Gallant. I can't remember if I did much better with Black Bull. Or Gallant. Whatever my PB is.
Right. Have you got time for a quick donation?
Oh yeah, go for it.
I've got $20 from Crodox. It says, "You got boost power. Here's to Naegleria and all the other SEO pilots out there. Thanks for everything. Also, maybe you can showcase the hard banger." Thanks for that $20, Crodox.
Oh. Hard banger. I can showcase it. I'd have to create it. I don't actually have it on my memory card, but I can do that. It's a notorious custom vehicle. So Drift Highway, yeah, it's got a lot of... It's all about MTSing and boost management. And depending on your playstyle, it can be all about MTS chaining. Pretty hardcore, too. Alright. Here's where we're going to see some fun with Gallant. So Gallant, I guess that, yeah, that's one thing it is better at than both Black Bull and Fat Shark is side attack momentum tricks. Not MTS chaining, but the side attack dives and side attack turns, which you'll see both of in this track. And potentially also an MTS into shift boost as well, but that's kind of, it's a lot trickier, at least for me. But yeah, if you mash side attack, you can do like a really wide turn, and the benefit is that you gain speed, but it's like the downside is that it's a very wide turn. You can't really do sharp turns with it. You can float as well with vehicles. I got a shift boost there. If you're going above like 1650, you'll get it. Did not get a shift boost there. That's where the MTS and the shift boost is. You could potentially get them on like any down slope, but that's like the reliable one, comparatively. And it would be faster to do one long side attack dive there, instead of doing like a short side attack dive and then floating onto it. But it's also a lot more dangerous, because you're likely going to just fall off and die if you do that. Oh yeah, and if you do an MTS against a rail, you do a MTRS, which is just a momentum turbo rail slide, and you can go like 4,000 or 5,000 kilometers an hour if you do it properly, with Gallant Star anyway. With Fat Shark, I usually only get to like 3,000, 4,000. I don't know if I've ever gotten 5,000. This is another level where my PB is with Gallant Star, but the difference between Gallant Star and Fat Shark for me isn't very much. For some players, like, they'll have different skill sets, so it's like their time with Gallant Star would be like that much better. So it would be worth it to load the custom vehicles, but for me it isn't. Which does remind me, I probably should practice this level with Gallant to get a time closer to CGN's record. I think he has a 109 that he got last year. I should not have MTS there, actually. It would have been better to just turn normally. Because when you MTS, you do gain a lot of speed, but you also exit a lot slower. So it's like the speed game is only during the turn. After the turn, you don't see the benefit. I got an MTS and a shift boost there. And I fucked up. Lost control. If you lose control on this track, you're likely to fly off and die because there's a lot of upslopes on the ground. And if you regain grip, you could like launch off of the slope and then die. So I'm thankful that didn't happen. Got another MTS and a shift boost. Mind boosts. If you hold A and then like MT right afterwards, you'll get a boost from mines. It's kind of you have to position yourself well though. The idea is that if you hit a mine, it'll like explode and blast you away. But if you hit it like dead center, it'll shoot you forward. I don't think I've found any uses of like trying to hit a mine on the side to get like sideways momentum. I think you pretty much always want to hit it dead on. Just because, like, even if you could find a use for it, it would be really weird, because it's harder to consistently hit it, like, at a specific point on the side than it is to hit it dead center. Crap, I haven't done that in a while. I wasn't paying attention to the pipes. When there's little bumps like this, you want to time your A presses so that you press A when you're diving and you release A when you're on the ground. Since you'll lose speed as you go on the upslope, but you'll gain speed on the dive. And you might have noticed that I'm trying to hit the boost plates on the side most of the time. You actually, if you hit the edge of the boost plate rather than the center, you'll get like a little bit stronger of a boost. And it'll also last slightly longer, so it's just all in all a good idea to... Like, ideally you'd hit the edge of the boost plate every time. But when you're traveling at these speeds, that's pretty difficult. So yeah, like I just demonstrated, by trying to go for the edge of a boost plate, you can also risk just missing it entirely. Generally, you'll try to end you'll want to end a level with a rail slide. There's no real reason not to, unless they there isn't a rail there, or there's like a weird turn so that you'll pretty much die and explode if you do that. And on Mobius Ring and Twist Road already, I've done a rail slide at the middle of a course. It's not only beneficial at the end of a course, it just typically only is. But if there's like a long stretch of like a rail, it can be beneficial to do a rail slide on that. It depends pretty much entirely on like how well you can exit it. Because while you can go pretty fast during the rail slide, you'll be going pretty slow afterwards. Yeah, this is the first track that's like a huge threat for death, just because the speed strats for it are just not easy. I should also point out that Gallon Star is actually faster here. I'm using Fat Shark, both for the reason that like custom machines take time to load, and also Fat Shark is way more consistent on this level, since I haven't really mastered the MTS into shift boost that makes the jump much more consistent for Gallon. Which reminds me of another thing that Fat Shark's really good at is air strafing. Gallant and Black Bull, they're not so good at turning in the air. Actually, Gallant isn't that good. Black Bull's okay, but Fat Shark can turn really sharp in the air. It's actually one of its strongest points after its boost. This is another level that has a lot of boosting and boost plates and just boost in general, so we're going to use Fat Shark. This is also secretly one of the hardest levels. Since you can get a shift boost on any downslope, so since this is a cylinder, you know, everything's a downslope, so you can shift boost pretty much anywhere. Like, okay, I just did right there. And I did again, although I lost all my speed. And that's the real reason why it's hard. It's not too difficult to get shift boost on this level. What's really difficult is maintaining the speed afterwards. Like right here, there's a lot. If I set this up, I got a double shift boost, and now I'm going really fast. But I kind of messed it up, so I lost a lot of speed. So, like, getting a good time on this course requires very, very good control. Because you could be going, you know, really, really fast one moment, and then you'll just go down to like 800 kilometers an hour, like, you know, slower than the speed of sound, which is fucking pathetic. And sorry I haven't been reading chat. I have to focus. I can talk just fine while playing this game, but I need to keep my eyes on the screen while doing that. Doing that section properly is important because it sets me up with the right speed for this spot, which gives me the double shift boost if I do it properly, which I didn't. Shit. MTS and the shift boost. Shift boost. The world record by Brave, a Japanese player. It gets that shift boost on every lap, I think, right at the start. As well as an MTS and the shift boost in a lot of places that... Like, I've gotten the shift boost, but I've never managed to, like, exit it with any, you know, reasonable amount of speed. Like, maintaining speed throughout all these turns without fucking up is insanely difficult. And if you're looking at this game and you're like, wow, this is like really fucking cool, I want to see more of it. Well, there's a team on Twitch, F-Zero Central, and there's also a Twitter channel for F-Zero Central that whenever someone from the team goes live, it like posts it. And actually, recently there's been a lot more people playing GX. I noticed that, at least in the last year, like 2015 particularly, we had a lot of new players. I remember I started playing this game in like 2012 of February 2012, and one guy who started, I think, 2014, Super Sonic. He's already, he started 2 years later, but he's already like pretty much better than I am in most respects in the game. He's the guy who got the multiplex record recently, as well as a few other courses. Like it takes a lot of practice to get good at this game, but if you put in the time, you can snap those records. It might look impossible, but it is not. All you have to do is believe. Crap. There's shift boost you can get in the tunnel here, if I do this part correctly. You need to essentially line up. Okay, got that. Good. 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 Not good. Okay, so I got the first few. But you can essentially stack shift boost back to the back. Since it's like a corkscrew, so you can like set yourself up to get the same one every time. Like you can see, like the corkscrew is what I'm driving around now.
Have we got time for donation?
Go for it.
Right, we've got $20 from MTTTHugh, who says, shout-outs to 10 krona cheeseburgers.
Oh, hell
Thank you
yes.
very much for that $20.
For those who weren't at ESA 2015, there was a McDonald's nearby, which had cheeseburgers for 10 krona. And as me, Adam AK, and a few other more financially savvy people pointed out, instead of getting a Big Mac for 67 krona, you could just get 6 cheeseburgers for 10 krona each, and you'd have like more burger for less price, and we just stack them on top of each other and eat them like a pig. And that's some hardcore gamer fuel right there. Oh, that was a top 10 time shit. If you get a top 10 time, it saves it to the memory card, and that costs like 3 seconds, so that's kind of shitty. Also, yeah, at ESA I had a cheeseburger challenge where anyone who beat Chapter 5 on very hard, I would buy him a cheeseburger, because it's only like 10 krona, which is, there's only like 40, 50 people who beat it, so that's like, 30, 40 bucks for like, a decent challenge. I figured it was worth it. And it was. It was a lot of fun. And I think everyone from the Jack and Daxter community, they just gave their burgers to, fuck, I forgot his name. He was the guy who came all the way from Australia. But, they're just like, yeah, I don't want the burger, just give it to him, so we ended up eating a shit ton of burgers.
I think last year AMVX came from Australia, I don't know if that's him.
That sounds correct to me. MTSing on this curve is kind of weird because it's both a horizontal and vertical curve. It took me a while to get used to that. I'm going to stop shift boosting because I'm bad at shift boosting on that side. I actually slow down here because otherwise I'll fly off and die. And what I do the MTS there because like you need to slow down, otherwise it'll fly off and die again. But instead of just braking, instead of doing MTS, because with an MTS you'll exit it at like a lower speed, but during the MTS you'll move a bit faster. So I get that boost, like increased MTS speed, and end up going just slow enough to not die. Shit. You can get a shift boost here as well, but it's really finicky, and it's likely that you'll fly off and die. That's a fun track, though. I like that one. Most Fat Shark tracks I like.
Thank you. You can use machine Fat Shark.
This track I used to actually really hate, but then I got better at it. Which is pretty much true for every track. You know, it's like, at first it's like, oh man, this is just too fucking hard. But once you put the practice in, it becomes fun. And there's actually a strat here. I'll reset for it just because it's fun. You'll get a double shift boost, 2 back to back. Bam. And it lets you do this. And you can follow that up with this. And you're going fast. I'm not sure how to move optimally through there. I've seen a lot of different ways. And you can get shift boosts on the side here, like strafing off and on, but it's really tricky. A lot harder than doing them normally. Just because it's like a curved track. I got a hidden shift boost there. I have a setup here. I count the caution signs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I let go of the A button. Bam, got the double shift boost. Sweet. Because you need to be going a very specific speed to get it. That strat is like, it's pretty consistent, but it's not actually optimal, because ideally you would just do more shift boosts on the edge, and then you know, brake at the last moment to get the right speed. Crap. I had a lot of speed there. On lap 3, it's not actually worth it because you're already going like, you know, 2,000 kilometers an hour, which is what those shift boosts would bring you to. So slowing down to get back up to that speed isn't worth it. But I turned the corner really shitty and lost all my speed, so there goes that. No shift boost. But yeah, once I got better at the shift boost there, and just like not dying on this track, it's one of my more preferred tracks. Oh, another fucking top 10 time. Like, look at this shit. That's just like 4 seconds gone because I was playing too good. Or I guess it's more that I wasn't playing good enough previously, you know? If I was better yesterday, then those top 10 times would have been harder to get, you know? But, you know, that's how it goes when you haven't, you know, grinded the shit out of every track like you should be doing. Because I don't like grinding that much, I like improving. And whenever I get stuck on a track, I can just go to another and then get better at that. So some of my top 10 times aren't that good. Like the PB will be good for me. But, you know, maybe the second or third place could be shit in comparison. Wow, I don't usually get that. That is faster, though. Whoop, almost hit that. That building does have collision detection. So you have to be careful to dodge it. Let's see if I do this properly. If I MTS the wrong way, as in like against the turn, then you can MTS up and gain speed and do that. Also, I did that improperly. I could have MTS there to save a bit of time. Shit. Yeah, you can drive on walls, but it's not actually a good idea to do that because they do damage. I actually don't know what I am right now because I haven't been paying attention to the leaderboards as much lately. I think I'm like 14 or 15 at the moment. I was 10th like last year at some point, but then all these new players started getting good. And I was playing Shower with Your Dad Simulator. So I plan on playing this game much more now. Here's what I should have done. MTS and then switched. I hit a wall, but it didn't cost me too much speed. Time to kill myself. That's the most consistent suicide finish in the game. Like when you die, your machine explodes. You can get launched in pretty much any direction, but with that specific railing and the way that track is shaped, you get launched forward pretty consistently. Most tracks have some kind of goofy suicide finish, but they're really not consistent. That one is, though. This level I'm expecting to die on. This is the only level in single segment runs where I straight up just expect to die. Just because it's the shift boost level, basically. And shift boosts are like pretty much the hardest thing in the game to do in terms of the advanced tech. And I could just, you know, lazily go along the level all slow and shit, but I want to go fast. So I'm going to try to go for one here. Got it. Go for one there. Got it. So that's what this level's about.
Do you have time for donations?
Go for it.
We've got $4.48 from Commissar Bear, and he says, F-Zero Games, putting the speed in speedrunning. ESA 2015 was great fun. Take some more of my shekels and keep 2016 fun.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the $4.48 there, Commissar Bear.
This is like probably the most significant level for Boost MT, because pretty much, ideally, the whole time you're going to be going like 3,000 kilometers an hour. So rather than just lose speed normally, you would boost, because when you're in the boost state, you lose speed at a little, you know, more optimal rate. So right here I'm going to boost, and then let go of A. Whoa, almost died there. I'm going to play this safe, because I'm a pussy. But I also want to go fast. Aw, shit. Oh yeah, the guy, formerly the first place max speed player, Iowa, His last time was in 2007. He's like a retired player. It wasn't too long ago. It was just last year. CGN beat his total time, which is like the max speed ladder. It's all IL times added up individually. Iowa had like a 39 minutes, 59 seconds, and CGN was the first to beat that. And probably not the last. There's still a lot of good players who are, you know, getting gooder. Shit. Ooh, this is not good. Slanted dives, that's a thing. If your vehicle is angled at a very weird angle and it goes off an edge, that angle will be treated as like what's forward. So you'll be tilted, and when you go down, you'll go down at a weird angle. It's actually used on split oval for one jump. Other than that, you pretty much never want to get that. Shit. So I won't go for the dangerous or more dangerous shift boosts. I'll only go for the ones that I'm comfortable with, like that one. Going for one here isn't too bad, but going for two can be pretty lethal, as I demonstrated. Yep. Like I said, this is the only level I expect to die on in single segment runs. For reasons which must now seem very obvious. That was bad. Yeah, I'm playing this really safe right now. Whew. So that's Trident. And that's, for me, I'd say that's the hardest level in the game. I guess it would depend on your skill set. Like, if you're a literal god at shift boosts, but you can't MTS for shit or something like that, then it would be different, but Diamond Cup in general is really fucking hard. All the 5 tracks in this cup here, they all have a lot of shift boosts or really like precision MTS shit, like a lot of really hard tricks. In this one, it's one of the more simple course layouts. It's like, you know, 90-degree turns and shit. But you get going fast, really fast. This is actually a level that had a long-standing record, 104 seconds, which CGN recently beat last year. Brave has also been working on this course recently too. You should check out his stream. It's twitch.tv/Brave1225. He's way fucking better than I am. Like, if you think I'm good, you'll shit your pants when you see him play this level. Yeah, CGN's run is like crazy good. Brave is still a couple seconds behind him, but he's pretty much the only person who can beat CGN's run right now. Even then, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take him a lot of effort. That's probably CGN's best run right now, I'd say. Probably the best record in the game for max speed, actually. For snaking, it's a little hard to say. Maybe the twist road time that CGN got last year for the damage boost and the suicide finish. There's, like, yeah, the best max speed players I would say are Brave and CGN, at least are the active ones. And the best snakers are Battlestream and CGN. Like, CGN's, like, really good at fucking both, which is weird. Because they're very different skill sets. I could show snaking off after, but we're max speed, the main idea is, like, momentum throttling. That's, like, the big strat that you're using the whole time. And with snaking, MT is used... It's still used, but it's not used as often. Because you want to hold the A button to snake. Basically, as you're turning left and right with the shoulder, and using the shoulder buttons as well, you can gain quite a bit of speed during turns. So you hold the A button and alternate left and right, and you go really, really, really fucking fast. You're basically going about twice the speed that you'd be going in max speed, like that I'm going right now, at any point in time. For most tracks, anyway. Which makes snaking, like, the hardest category overall. Both in terms of, like, execution and in, like, physical, like, stress. Because alternating the presses like that, it puts a lot of force on your hands. I can only snake for like 1 minute without really feeling like a stress starting to come on. Like, even when you're watching, like when Battlestream and CGN are going for records, like they built up an endurance to that, but they still occasionally will take a break just because, you know, it's actually a health risk. You can dodge that if you're good enough, but I guess right now I'm not. What's really interesting with snaking, though, is in comparison to max speed, is that it's set on max acceleration, and one of the defining factors. Okay, that was interesting. For shift boosts, the quality of, like, the amount of speed you get from shift boosts is acceleration and weight. Those are, like, the two big ones. And with snaking, you have a lot more acceleration because it's on max acceleration, so you'll gain a lot more speed from shift boosts. But you'll also lose speed more because it applies to the way deceleration works, like the rate you lose speed. It goes both ways. So you'll gain a lot of speed from a shift boost and then lose it really, really fast. And the way you optimize levels, like lateral shift and trident, it's a lot different than max speed. Even though you think it would just be all about shift boosts, it has a very different style of play. And the other category, space flying, that's like any percent. Which is physically probably the easiest to do. Like, the inputs are much simpler, but mentally it's not, because you're basically flying in the air between invisible checkpoints. Like, around, like, all the sections of track I'm going through, there's, like, invisible checkpoints to say, like, alright, you actually passed through this part of the track, so it won't, like, kill you if you go to a part of the track you're not supposed to be in. And with space flying, you basically just fly in the air, and you fly between those checkpoints throughout the track. And sometimes you can skip checkpoints as well, which space flying will use. So you're basically just flying around off course, hitting like invisible markers that you don't know if you've hit it or not, which makes it really hard to learn. There's a lot of trial and error involved with getting good at space flying. I've only learned like a couple levels. The thing with space flying is like you'll be flying pretty consistently at like 1800 and 1900 kilometers an hour. But the real reason you benefit is because you can take a much more efficient route. Like with snaking at max speed, you have to like, you know, go around the track. With space flying, you don't. There's a shift boost you can get there pretty consistently. I think you just need to be going fast enough. And also be angled a certain way. It's kind of finicky. That was a good... That wasn't bad. Considering I was only doing one shift boost on the side there, just to not die. 201. That's not too bad. I'm not ashamed of that time. Whereas my Phantom Road time, it's probably my worst time overall, just because I don't want to learn the strats here on this level. Because the strats involve Black Ball, which I used earlier. You know, it's really, really good at MTSing. And on this level, ideally you would want to, you know, basically MTS the entire time. You're MTSing through these really, really tight turns with barely any space. It's really, really fucking hard. So I just like using Sonic Phantom here. Because you can still get a pretty good time with Sonic Phantom. Like, the record's a 127 right now. And the best Sonic Phantom time is a 142. And the record's with Black Bull. You can still get a pretty good time with Gallon Star. I know Brave has like a 135, somewhere around that, with Gallon Star. And other people have times with like Quick Star that are around that. One thing to note about Sonic Phantom though is there's a one player, Onsoku SKL, a Japanese guy who plays Outrun in GX. And he plays GX Time Trials, ILs, but he only uses Sonic Phantom. Which is really neat. Like, all the vehicles in this game are really different. And, typically with ILs, you'll see, like, a lot of people have used the fastest vehicles, like Fat Shark and shit. And not many people have used, you know, vehicles like Sonic Phantom that are not as good. So they end up having quite a different route you would take through the level, because their quality of boost and MTS would be different. So the way you'd use your boost and drive through the level ends up being, in some cases, you'll take entirely different paths on tracks, and it can be pretty significant. So he like routed Sonic Phantom basically, and he has I only was able to beat like one of his times, even though you know, it's I don't think he's put as much time into the game as like most of the top players, but he's like he went like really like focused in with just Sonic Phantom, so he was able to specialize on it. That's actually kind of the idea between a spreadsheet Yoshi fan made, where it's all 26 tracks against all 41 vehicles that are like like these vehicles, the non-customs that were on the screen. This one's a custom vehicle, but there's 1,066 separate ILs, and they're all different. Like the difference between, you know, Death Anchor on like Cosmo Terminal and the difference between, you know, Sonic Phantom, it's like you're playing a very different game. Which is another thing, whenever I was like, sometimes I would get tired of playing a certain level with Fat Shark, so I could just play it with, Crazy Bear instead and try to optimize that. And it doesn't feel like the same thing. Which is probably the one downside to F-Zero X, which is also, like, the N64 F-Zero game, is that all the vehicles pretty much feel the same. The only real difference is, like, the machine settings. Like, slide air, like, all the way on the left, or all the way on the right. It's still a lot of fun, though. I've done time attacks of that game. I haven't really gotten as good. Because to me, personally, it feels like F-Zero X is harder to get good at. I think F-Zero GX would be harder to master overall, but X is just harder to improve in, like, step by step. At least that's the vibes I got from it. Hard banger. Yeah, for those of you wondering about hard banger, basically there's like there's 3 like custom body parts you can put together. The cockpit, the booster, and like the body. And if you put like the absolute heaviest one for all 3, you get hard banger. And it's quite the vehicle.
Got time for a quick donation?
Go for it.
I've got $10.83 from Nailfin, whose donation comment is just a heart. Thank you very much for that $10.83.
This is another level where my PB is with Gallon Star, but I can get a very similar time with Black Bull. Brave, the Japanese player I mentioned earlier, along with I think every single one of the Japanese players have actually, they don't use side attacks, just like a restriction they use because they don't like the playstyle. And for some levels, the vehicle that's optimal with side attacks is not the same as the one vehicle that's optimal without. He uses Fat Shark, and he gets like a 110. And the world record uses Gallon Star and side attacks to get like a 106, I think? Something around that. I've done non-side attack ILs too, because it actually is, for a lot of levels, it's quite different. For some levels it doesn't make a difference, because side attacks just don't make a difference in them, like Port Town Long Pipe. Or this next level coming up, Port Town Cylinder Wave. But, for most levels, side attacks do have quite a bit of use. Like in Dragon Slopes, I had those big giant side attack dives I was doing. Arrow dive, big giant side attack dives. That's like the big benefit from side attacks, is whenever there's like a gigantic jump. Turns you'll still gain speed on, but it's not as significant unless there's a shit ton of turns, like in Green Plant Spiral. It's really fucking hard to get that boost plate and then get the other one on top, like right beside it. And the levels I'm playing right now, for the people who had this game, when it came out, they might not know about them because you need to beat all the other cups on Master Mode to unlock it. This is all the F-Zero AX tracks from the arcade cabinet version of this game. And they were designed like with a driving wheel in mind, not like an analog stick, like a arcade cabinet. So they have like a very different feel to them. And like with Solarnaut, in theory, you could get shift boost pretty much everywhere on this track. It's just so hard to control. Like, that's actually one of the spots where shift boosts are more consistent. Like, I got a 150 here, but the world record gets a bunch of shift boosts and gets like a 135, I think, by Brave. Most of the Fat Shark records are by Brave. What are the Fat Shark records? Let's see. The Casino Palace Split Oval. That's a Fat Shark one. Multiplex, that used to belong to Brave, but just as of, like, you know, a couple days ago, that's now Super Sonics. Brave could get that, though. There's only, like, one minor part where there's a side attacks benefit right at the start. And Brave could, you know, drive that much better that he would obsolete that, pretty much. Oops, shit. I'm trying to think of what vehicle has what records now. There's a page on FZeroCentral.org that lists all the F-Zero GX records and who did it, what vehicle they were using when it was done. It's all pretty well done up. If you're interested in watching more of this game, I'd recommend you check those out, just to see, like, you know, how fast shit gets in this game. Like there, I got a few shift boosts by MTSing. Almost got one there. You can get one there if you're at, like, side attacking speed. Crap. And if you mess up MTS chaining, you can smack into a wall and lose all your speed. And that's not good. On lap 1, you can also rail slide on this part, because it's a long straight line. It can be really hard to exit it with enough speed to, like, really benefit from that, though. That was close. Yeah, right here I do MTS, shift boost, and I try to go for one on this slope. I've never actually gotten it, though. It's what's optimal, though, is to get another shift boost, like, right after that. You need a lot of speed to get it. Like, I'm pretty sure you need to get the first shift boost to get the second one there. Shit, I keep missing that one. I guess if you were snaking, you could probably get it without the first shift boost, but snaking's a whole different beast. Hey, I got a shift boost. I really like Thunder Road. It's a hard level, but it's fun. Lots of different, like, variety in the turns and shit. And now we have Spiral, which is the longest level in the game, longer than Thunder Road. My best time is like a little over 3 minutes. The record's a 2:48, I think? Using a Quick Star. Quick Star is like a super light version of Gallant Star. The only real difference between them in play is like that Quick Star can MTS a lot better, and you can also gain speed while you know, quick turn alternating, even at max speed settings. So basically, it can snake. Ah, shit. It's also, yeah, it's also easier to do aerial maneuvers like that with Quick Start. Can strafe a lot better in the air. I don't like Quick Start though, so I don't use it. Let's go for this again. There we go. That's how it's done. Shit. You can get a shift boost there if you press the strafe at the right time. You also get one here. Didn't get it. Shit.
Okay, we have $50 from Marola64, who hasn't actually left a message, but thank you very much for that $50 donation.
This is also a level where non-side attack play is very different. As you may notice, I'm pretty much side attacking all over the place. So it is like a... Like, I understand the restriction. Like, the more you play this game, the more you'd see that it does make sense to have like a separate category for it. Oh, almost died there. If you get thrown into the air, if you're far away from enough from the track, you'll lose gravity toward the track, and then your gravity will be set to like the 3D cube that the level is in. And whichever way is down in the 3D cube is not necessarily what's down with reference to the track, because these tracks, you know, they twist and turn and go all every sorts of directions. So if you like get launched off the track, you could end up, you know, turning around and falling upwards basically, and then dying. Shit. Whoa. Shit. If you do that part properly, you can actually jump and land right here, so you can skip the helix. Or helices, whatever it's called. The circle thing. It takes... Like, I've done it. My IL, like, my PB has that on this level, but it's really tricky to do with Callant.
Thank you.
And up next is the last level. Black Bull or Fat Shark? What do you want to see? You decide right now. I can do either. I have more practice with Fat Shark overall, but I think my Black Bull time is better. Come on, chat. I keep forgetting that the delay is this large because of Twitch, but I should have asked this earlier. First one I see in chat. I don't have Hardbanger. Okay, Fat Shark. I'll go create Hardbanger just for you, Crowdox. So this level is an oval. It's really short. Ideally, it's less than 40 seconds. But you can still do some crazy shit on this level. Most notably the suicide finish. If you grind against the wall there, you can explode, bounce off the wall here, and then fly toward the finish line. It's insanely inconsistent. Oh, also time's up. That's the end of the run.
Right.
Sorry.
I hit time as soon as he said it, and let's see what we got.
It's probably like 2
Time
seconds.
showing 1:10:22. So if it's 2 seconds late, 1:10:20.
All right. Sweet. So that's F-Zero GX. All tracks using max speed. And since Crawdox asked for it, I'll go make Hardbanger right now. Just for you.
Yep, and we've definitely got time for it. That's fine.
Let's see. These are like snaking vehicles. Blue Panther. There we go. Alright, that's it. This is the hard banger. 3,080 kilograms of wicked steel. Let's attach an emblem right now. You can make your own emblems. They're like 62 by 62 pixel images. Oh wait, I only have emblems on card A. Let me go back here. So I've drawn some images, and you know, every now and then I'll go into that. Fuck! I keep pressing the wrong button. Oh yeah, I need to where is it? There we go. Let's get Choo Choo Rocket Cat. Looks real good. Choo Choo Rocket Mouse. There we go. Doesn't that just make you want to go fast? Put a dog there. And that's a nice looking machine. And that's the kind of things you can do with the custom shit in this game. Let's see here. Let's see how Hardbanger snakes. I'm actually curious. So snaking, put it all the way to acceleration instead. And then as you accelerate on turns, you gain momentum. Gets pretty crazy. It's okay at snaking. Omega Gauntlet would be way faster here, though. Well, maybe not way faster, but... Oh, yep, there's gravity. I'm really shitty at snaking, though. It's hard to do. Let's save Ghost. Fuck. So right now, show off space flying. Here's Ordeal. Ordeal has the dumbest checkpoints in the game, so it's the easiest to space fly on. And use Maximum Dragon. Maximum Dragon is the lightest body with the heaviest cockpit and the best booster. And this lets you do some really special things in the air. It's also not bad at snaking, and max speed, surprisingly. It's like an all-around decent machine. And you can also do this. Wait, I didn't hit the checkpoint. Go here. You probably get motion sick from this shit too. And that's 2 laps. But basically all I'm doing is holding A, left on the analog stick, and the left shoulder button. And you gain speed. You gain so much speed and momentum that it also has upward curve to it because you're tilted. And you can do the same thing the opposite direction, that's how you like change it. This is pretty much the only way you can see F-Zero actually lag. When it tries to load all this shit that it's just not supposed to load. Let's see. I'll try snaking. I won't be able to do it for long because it really fucking hurts my fingers, but... Let's use this dude. I think it's the best one for this track. With snaking, it's pretty much all custom vehicles because those are like they get the most acceleration. But they'll use different ones depending mainly on their turning radius. Because you're going to be turning pretty much all the time, so the ones that have like end up having a turning radius that like best fits the track curvature is what they end up using. Oop. You also have to, like, while you're out doing all these crazy snaking patterns, you have to line up to get, like, boost plates and mines and shit like that. What's the worst custom machine? Megalo Bruiser something? Basically, it's a really heavy, fat piece of shit that can barely turn. And it's really slow. Stark Nebula actually, like, he really investigated the custom machines just to answer that question. He's done a lot of work with GX, actually. He's like trying to not quite reverse engineer, but like isolate all the collision files and data and tracks and shit, with the ultimate goal, I think, of making like an F-Zero GX track editor, which would be really cool. Ugh, alright, that's enough snaking for me. This shit hurts my hands. Ah.
Alright, shall we move on to Shower and Dad then?
Alright.
Alright, so we'll be back in a few minutes, guys, with Shower and Dad Simulator.